Welcome! In front of me I have the brand new Samsung Galaxy S24, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a quick look at the device. So let's just get straight into it. Now this is the smallest one of the bunch with a screen size of 6.2 inches and running the lowest resolution of the bunch, which is 1080 by 2340. Drop that in here. Now inside of the box we just have a charging cable, some paperwork, and that's about all you get. For a company that claims that they removed chargers because of e-waste, they tend to add a lot of e-waste in terms of actual phones, because these don't really change all that much from a year to year, and obviously Samsung also releases their premium devices every half a year instead of every year like most other companies. In any case, let's boot it up, and this will present us with our display. So come on, there we go. So the display right here is a dynamic LTPO AMOLED display running 120 Hz refresh rate with HDR10 Plus certification and a peak brightness of whopping 2600. You might need to use sunglasses for this phone. Now, when it comes down to screen to body ratio, it also boasts a over 90% screen to body ratio with over 400 pixels per inch. So the display right here is pretty nice, sharp, and we have very minimal bezels all around. Now, I'm just gonna kind of bring up another device which has, I believe, right about the exact same screen to body ratio, and that is the Poco, I think it's X6 Pro. Let's turn off the dark theme so it actually looks good. So that being said, side by side, I feel like the Samsung has bigger bezels compared to this one, but I'm not sure if this is just illusion. At the bottom it might look like this device is a little bit bigger, but on paper they supposedly both have about the same screen to body ratio. Now, there is one that might actually affect it, which is the camera. On Samsung it's much smaller compared to right here, so it might actually make it mean that the camera subtracts a little bit from the, or adds a little bit of percentage to the actual screen, while the bezels subtract them, and here it's the other way around. So that's why maybe the bezels right here seem actually smaller. In any case, just wanted to kind of compare these two, just because these are some of the smallest bezels on the market. But in any case, you can obviously see how this one looks like right here. And for Samsung, screen is their bread and butter, so this device obviously has a pretty sweet display all in all. Now, if we flip it over, we can now see the triple camera setup at the back, and the main sensor right here is a 15 megapixel wide sensor, f1.8 aperture, 24 millimeters with dual pixel PDAF and optical image stabilization. Then below that we have a 10 megapixel f2.4 aperture, 67 millimeter telephoto lens with 3 times optical zoom, and 12 megapixel f2.2 13 millimeter 120 degree ultra wide lens with something that they're calling super steady video. I always love those like non-technical names. And then at the front, this tiny little selfie right here, the cutout that we have, is housing a 12 megapixel f2.2 26 millimeter wide lens. So these are all the cameras, and obviously Samsung tries to make their phones, especially the S lineup, be pretty good when it comes down to photography. So I presume these ones will obviously not disappoint. Though I want to compare it, the Ultra S24 Ultra does boast a main sensor of like 200 megapixels and a couple additional lenses compared to the Plus and the Non-Plus, which Non-Plus and Plus have, I believe, the same same cameras right here. The Ultra is the one that actually has more cameras and better ones. But in any case, now we can swap to the internals, and because this is a smaller device at only 6.2 inches, I'm saying only, 5 years ago that was a huge device, but because of that, inside we have a 4000 milliamp hour battery, which is smaller compared to the Plus, which has a 4,900, and the Ultra, which has 5,000 only. I'm saying only because that device is massive. Now, internally, we have a brand new Snapdragon, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, the newest one on the market and also the highest end that you can get for Android. So obviously, in terms of performance, it's unrivaled. It's a powerhouse, especially in this form factor. Now, compared to the two other Samsung S24s, this one is the only one that actually allows you to spec it a little bit lower and go for a one that comes with 8 GB of RAM and 128 GB of built-in storage, while the two additional higher models, the Plus and Ultra, start with 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. So this is half, or roughly about half of the size of the other ones. Storage it's half, obviously RAM a little bit less. And with that being said, we also have a UFS 4.0, but Samsung decided to scam people here with this kind of very shitty practices. Oh my god, I can't believe that. Why? It's honestly frustrating. You get UFS 4.0, which is the best storage type for Android that you can get as of now. But if you decided to save up a little bit of money, if you didn't, use the device with, I don't have my wallet, but if you don't want to get this device by literally just being fleeced by Samsung, what you get is UFS 3.1. This has UFS 3.1 and it's a 4 or 5 year old device. It's absolutely a middle finger from this garbage company. I hate this. This soils the experience here so much. And it's such a little stupid minuscule thing. In any case, let's get straight through this, see what other disappointments we have. Apart from the phone basically not really changing almost at all from the previous version. Obviously we have the typical Samsung experience, just a tiniest bit of upgrades that you can possibly give someone before they just look at your device and consider that it's absolute dog shit, considering you haven't changed anything. Apart from the storage right here, if you go for the lowest one, the 128 with 8 gigabytes, you get the crappy 3.1 storage. I'm saying crappy, it is fast, but obviously when you're paying starting price of $800 effing dollars, you expect to have the best. And this is the lower end model, the non-Plus or Ultra, but it's still in the S24 lineup. I don't see any reason for this horseshit of ML practice giving you the lower end device that is still classified as an S24. Now, actually, I'm gonna check something. Is the S23... I'm gonna check the Ultra and non-Ultra. So S23 came with UFS. Oh, they did the same garbage as this one. Fantastic. I just love to see it. While the Ultra also had 4.0. Yeah, I honestly, I don't consider this to be acceptable practices by companies. Anyway, let's continue. So, moving further on past the garbage storage that they decided to scam people with. Obviously, it's something that you won't see on a box anywhere. It's something that you only can see in like a detailed spec look, so just keep that in mind. So if we continue on into the internals, like I said, we have 4,000 mAh battery. I didn't mention the charging speed, and the charging speed on this device is at, again, dogshit 25 watts. I know. Why? Literally why? $800. 5-year-old device, again, costs by now less than $100. Comes with 33 watts fast charging, also wireless charging if you fancy. I just can't. So Samsung, again, this time around they're not even fleecing your wallet, they're just literally bending you backwards, pulling your pants down, and going in the raw. Out of the three phones, I I'm gonna say I don't recommend this one. This one is the biggest scam out of Samsung lineup right here, and holy crap, is it effing infuriating. So 25 watts for an $800 device, which will get you 50% in 30 minutes. Fantastic. What a disappointment in 2024. You also have 15 watts wireless charging and 4.5 watts reverse wireless charging. You can top up things like your buds with your phone. And continuing on, we have under display fingerprint sensor. We have a dual SIM tray right over here. No SD card, obviously. It's an S lineup. Why would you get more for a premium device when you can get less? Then at the top we have our microphones, our antennas, more antennas, more antennas. At the bottom, Type-C port, speakers, a microphone, and then our volume rockers along with the power button on the right side. And I refuse to call this a side button because on the side, the same side even, we have things like volume rockers, and yet we don't call those side buttons. Yet they're still buttons located on the side, just like the power button. So yeah, I'm never gonna call this a side button. Now, anything else that I missed? I don't think so. So that being said, the biggest disappointment out of the phones so far, the S lineup, and I looked at all of them, the Ultra and the Plus, and this one is just the biggest scam, which I wouldn't even recommend picking up. Now that being said, you probably have a better chance of picking up the S23 for the same price, having a bigger battery, bigger display, and faster storage type, more storage, along with more RAM for the same price. So I don't recommend going this unless you are really needing that 6.2-inch display over the 6.7 that the Plus and Ultra come with. So if you don't rely on the screen size, I would probably recommend going for the previous model, which basically will improve on a couple of the specs that you have in here, while dropping down on the performance because it will come with a Snapdragon Gen 2 instead of the Gen 3 that this one comes with. But if you don't need to run Genshin Impact at 4K max settings at 60 frames, you should be good to go with whatever you throw at that phone anyways. So that's my overlook of this device. And anyway, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to smash like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.